Okay, I don't know. I think that looks good enough to filter. Yeah, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna fill up these 2 water bottles. Okay. Let's do this. So in theory, should take a minute per liter. Seems rather slow right now. Okay, well look, I'm getting water. Yeah, hope it's good to drink. I guess let's try some. I mean, it seems alright, I guess. Okay, I'll keep going. Okay, well, got some pristine quality water right here, and it takes forever. Yeah, I don't know. There were some that were faster, but maybe we'll not fill up the second one for now. I don't know if you can see it, but up ahead of me there's this just like wall of white mist, and I hope it's like a cloud. Like, it's cool because it's like so distinct, but yeah, I hope it's a cloud and not like precipitation. But yeah, we'll see. It's starting to, you know, snow a bit. So apparently we're leaving the Peace River region and entering the Northern Rockies Regional Municipality. Opportunity at its peak. And you can also see there's the sign is in the shape of a bear. So that's great. The best thing about a good the best thing about a headwind, I think, is that it makes scary downhills less scary, because some downhills are pretty scary. So we got our first town of the day, probably the only town of the day, I think. Yeah, apparently they have a B&B. Maybe I could get some water. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so update. We're 90k away from Fort Nelson. It's like 1:30, 2 o'clock-ish. Something like that. Probably more like 2 o'clock. Headwind, about 10 to 15 kilometer an hour headwind. So yeah, it's yeah, I'm gonna try to make it to Fort Nelson, but I don't know. Yeah, there's really nothing in between here and there as well. So at some point I need to make a decision if I'm going to go all the way or not. Yeah. Here we have the Adset Creek realignment. So basically the highway used to be, you know, really curvy when it was first built, just because it was the easiest thing to build. And then, you know, they basically made a very straight alternative route much later. Yeah, basically. Nuts how much of the oops. It's a little bit nuts how much of the trees are burnt down. I guess maybe forest fires are just common, or maybe they're becoming more common, I don't know. So I'm still kind of sketched out by the water in the gutters over here. So I've resorted to waving my empty bottle at people passing by and hoping they give me water. So I got some water, enough for like a meal right now. I'll probably make it to Fort Nelson today. I'm 55K away. Hello. Quick word to the camera. Normally I kind of do like a meditation while I'm biking, like a variation of like Mahasi noting method. Okay, whatever. Today I decided, oh, you know, I'm actually gonna think and like philosophize about stuff, because I haven't done that in a while, because I noticed like a tendency like that I'm just attached to like thinking and philosophizing about things. Anyways, I was looking at myself, right, and I noticed like, oh, I'm kind of just following a path, you know, and I came to the question of like, what do I actually want, you know? Now it's important to mention kind of a Buddhist concept of non-self. You know, I think you know, the idea is that if you meditate long enough, you come to certain realizations. One thing like you kind of start to see is like, you know, you stop seeing this, the idea of self as anything more than a convention. And there's all this talk about attachment to self. Well, what I thought about is that I think that we have this attachment to self. And like, what is self? I think so what I just thought of is that I think it's like one big thing it is it's desire. Right, we are attached to, you know, we take our desires and I think that's probably the biggest part of our identity. right. So we feel like we're kind of nobody if, or like we feel really lost if we don't have a unique set of desires. Uh, and so my realization, right, was also that like nobody has any unique desires besides yeah, and nobody has any permanent desires either, in the sense that all your desires will like come and go, and the only thing that's, and all like emotions kind of will come and go. Like I even thought about like the idea of like somebody living for like long enough for, and you know, an infinite amount of time, you know, like, you know, they'll just experience a bunch of things, but the only consistency between all of us and ourselves throughout all time is like just the desires to be happy and to be free from suffering. So to summarize, a large part of our identities and our sense of self is our like unique desires. So we crave this sense of having unique desires, but ultimately we have no unique desires, and it's all futile. And instead, what we see is that we're kind of these empty buckets, you know, and we're all the same except for the fact that we just want to be happy and free from suffering. We have some civilization over here. So I think all of the like, I'm guessing this is oil stuff, but all the like there was a big gap. There wasn't a lot of industry for a long time. Maybe after like about a third of the way from what's that place? Fort St. John? I'm already forgetting. I'm guessing this is kind of an isolated island of civilization though, and there's still, it's about, last I checked it was 25k to Fort Nelson, so still probably about 20 at least. Ah yeah, there's the sign, yeah, it's gonna be 20. So less than 5k from the city center, and then they got this big downhill, of course the river, the bridge, big uphill. Yeah, so that's fun. Yeah, I don't know if I'll film more, we'll see.